come to lie down onto your back. Once you arrive there, take as much time as you need to move the body until you can land in a place of stillness. And once you arrive there, maybe bring the hands to the belly. Begin to notice the rise and fall of the breath. Notice the temperature of the breath as it enters through the nose. And notice the temperature of the breath as it leaves the nose. Feel the points of contact between your body and the earth. And then eventually bring to mind the intention of peace, your own internal peace. Reminding yourself that you have control of this. And you begin to say to yourself with each inhale, I am peace. And see if over time, if you can start to deepen that inhale, really filling up into the belly. And over the next few cycles of breath, see if you can start to focus more on the exhale, allowing for a full release of the breath. So for as much as the belly rises, the belly collapses with each exhale. And in your own time, start to find a full body stretch, reaching everything long, starting to roll the wrists and the ankles. And then eventually pick up the left foot and cross it over the right ankle. Pick up the head, neck, and shoulders and come over to the right as well. Maybe taking the right hand to the left wrist and feeling that stretch through the whole left side of the body. Allowing the left shoulder to release a little more towards the mat, floor. And then release, coming back to center and come right into the other side, taking the right ankle over the left, and taking the torso and the head over to the left. Grabbing hold of that right wrist with the left hand as you breathe into the right side body. Gently coming back to center. Go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest. Maybe the nose draws up towards the knees. Maybe you rock here. And then gently release the feet back down onto the floor. Draw the belly in towards the spine and start to lift the hips towards the sky. Allow the head and the neck to remain comfortable. And then with your out breath, release the hips back down. And with your in breath, lift the hips to the sky. And with your out breath, lower back down. Take 2 more like that, rising and falling with breath. And once you arrive back down, draw the right knee in towards the chest, either interlacing the fingers around the shin or the back of the right leg, either are fine. And maybe you start to move here side to side. Eventually take the right ankle over the left thigh, coming into your figure 4. And draw the left knee in towards the chest, grabbing holds of either the shin or the back of that left leg. And then go as far as you feel sensations into that outer right hip. And maybe here you rock, or maybe stillness is what you crave. Feel free to stay here or extend that left heel up towards the sky. And gently release that left foot back down if it's lifted. We're all going to step our left foot down onto the mat. And take the arms wide, and then allow both legs to fall over to the left. Maybe you gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe you take that left hand to the right leg. And bring your gaze back to center. Pick up that right leg and allow the right foot and the left foot to meet at the center of your mat. Arms can come wide again, or take any other position that serves you as you come into your reclined cobbler pose or Supta Baddha Konasana. Take 3 full breaths here. I am at peace. And then gently help the knees back towards one another. And prepare again for your bridge pose, rising and falling with the hips as you breathe in and breathe out. And then landing the hips back down onto the earth, draw the left knee in towards the chest. Rock a little here, find some stillness, whatever serves you today and in this moment. Eventually you'll find the left ankle over the right thigh, coming into your figure 4 on the other side. I'm feeling free to stay here for drawing the right knee towards the chest, grabbing hold of the right leg, until you feel sensation into that outer left hip, and that might mean that you find a looser grip on the right leg. Feeling free to stay here, extending that right heel towards the sky. Notice how the jaw responds to being asked to be here. And that right foot's coming back down to meet the earth. The arms are coming wide, and then both legs are falling over to the right, gaze coming to the left. That right hand can grab a hold of the left leg. You can also play with where that left leg lands in space. Gazing back at center again, pick up that left leg, bring left foot to meet the right, come into that reclined cobbler pose again. And really making it less about the knees needing to be anywhere, Just feeling the sensation into the hips, pressing foot into foot, and staying really active there. Come back to that full breath again, filling up on the inhale, and fully releasing with the exhale. The hands can help support the knees towards one another. Good. And then bring the feet a little wider and just rock the knees side to side. Maybe your head and neck need a little love today, and you take the arms wide and you gaze in one direction or the other as the knees fall. And take as long as you'd like here. Eventually draw the knees towards the chest. Wrap the hands around the backs of the legs, and then start to rock forward and backward. Until eventually you land in your version of boat pose. I prefer to have my hands behind me. You might prefer to have your arms lifted. Find that balancing point where the heart can stay lifted, the belly can draw in, but you can still breathe. And maybe you play with changing the shape of your boat pose over time. Take one more breath. And gently cross at the ankles and come into a comfortable seated position. And that might take some time to settle in. Maybe it takes a few shoulder rolls, maybe a few head or neck rolls. Eventually land in some stillness, just like we did as we came to lie on our backs. Close the eyes and take a moment to tune back into breath. Allowing the focus to be on the exhale just as much as the inhale, and fully releasing your exhale. So we're not holding on to the moments that came before this one. If you're following along visually, see if you can follow my words here, maybe closing the eyes. And when you feel ready, we'll reach the right arm up towards the sky. And take the right fingertips to the left temple and draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. And if you go in the opposite direction, that's okay. We have plenty of opportunity to do both sides today. Feeling the stretch through the side of the neck without having that shoulder rise up. And one more as you are. And then gently release the head again. Reach both arms forward and cross the right arm over the left. Give yourself a hug here. See if you can wrap the hands around towards the backs of the shoulders. And maybe play with where the elbows are in space. And take one more breath as you are. And release the arms. Take them behind you. Interlace the fingers behind the back. And press the hands away to lift the heart. Take a deep breath here. And then start to tip yourself forward, allowing the arms to restrict some of that movement in the spine. Maybe you have that freedom to move the head and the neck. And gently arriving back at center again. Release the hands, taking the opposite arm out this time. So left hand coming to right temple, drawing left ear towards left shoulder. And if you did this side the last time, just do the opposite. One more breath here, allowing that right shoulder to release. Good. Releasing Both arms come forward. This time left arm crosses, giving yourself that hug here. Wrapping the hands around the back. Playing with where the elbows are in space. And just breathe. Breathing in peace. And go ahead and free the hands again. Clasp the hands behind the back, lift the heart, and then start to tip yourself forward again. Still breathing and noticing again how the jaw responds to being asked to be in a certain position. And one more here. And easing your way back upright again. We're going to release the hands and switch the crossing of our legs. Good. We're going to find that seat again, settling into your sits bones. And then take the left hand out to the left, stretch the right arm up towards the sky, and then arch over to your left. Good. See if you can reach even further with those right fingertips so you start to feel that stretch through the right side of the body. Good. Come back up to center, take that right hand to the left leg, take the left hand behind you, come into a twist. Head and neck can be positioned in any position that feels comfortable to you. In fact, you might play with the gaze as you continue to twist. And back to center. Take the right hand out to the right, left arm reaches up and over. Come into that arch, deep breath into that left side body. Coming back upright, left hand to right leg, right hand comes behind you. And again, feel free to explore this range of motion in the head and the neck. It could be side to side, it could be dipping an ear towards the shoulder, it could be dropping the chin towards the chest, or reaching it up. And then come back to center again. This time walk the hands forward, take a forward fold here. So if you can maintain that integrity in the spine, and if there's any points of tension, start to walk the hands back, lengthen the torso, lengthen the back body, and then maybe try again. We want this to be easeful in the back. And one more here. Walk the hands back again. We're going to prepare for our tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees. Feel free to use any props that you have at home, either bringing a blanket underneath or a towel underneath your knees for some more support. And then settle in. Take movement side to side or move through cows and cats. And eventually send the hips back towards the heels. Take a child's pose. Notice how the hips respond to being asked to be here. And then the hands can stay palms facing down, or maybe you lift the palms to the sky, but allowing the head to rest comfortably. Easing your way back to tabletop position. And maybe bringing the knees a little closer to one another for a little more support. Good. And then you might tuck the toes for more support as well. We're going to take that right leg, extend the right leg long behind us. Good. Play with where that right leg lands in space. Good. Eventually the hips come square. And then play with this idea of lifting the left palm. So maybe you're on left fingertips, maybe you walk the hand forward, or maybe you reach that hand forward. Take a deep breath here, and then exhale, draw elbow towards knee. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, draw it in. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, draw it in. Taking your time with your own pace of breath. Good. And the next time the knee is in, pause. Bring the hand down, bring the knee down, and shake it out. And if you have any wrist sensitivities, you can always, if you have some sort of a block or a book, you can bring it underneath the hands, or you can always come to fists instead. And then land in some stillness again, tuck the toes, and then lift the left leg, send it back. And take any movements to find your center. And then over time, start to maybe play with lifting that right hand. Maybe the right hand comes forward, maybe the right hand reaches. Find the steadiness of your breath, and then with your next exhale, draw elbow towards knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw it in. And the next time the knee is in, pause. And then release the right hand and left knee. Tuck both toes. Start to send the hips back. Take child's pose again. This time just a little more active into the feet. Find the steadiness of your breath again. And then start to walk the hands back towards the knees. Keep the toes tucked if that feels okay. Come into a toe balance. So either the hands can stay down. If you have blocks or books, you can grab a hold of them to give yourself a little more height, a little longer of an arm here. And then feel free to sit upright so shoulders come over the hips. Good. See if you can draw the belly in, lift up through the heart, draw the shoulders down the back. Good. Feel free to stay here, or maybe play with lifting the knees, coming into a toe balance. Soften the muscles of the face. Come back to breath. Eventually the knees come back down. If you have any props, you'll move them out of the way. And then come back to hands and knees. Keep the toes tucked, lift the knees and the hips, find downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet, swaying the hips. And I like to take my down dog a little wider with my feet to give me a stronger foundation here, but feel free to play close or wide. Take one more as you are. Good. Big bend into the knees, lower the knees back down. Bring the knees closer, the feet closer again. And then take that right leg long behind you. Good. Draw the right knee forward. Step the right foot to the outside of that right hand, but then walk the hands forward and start to walk that right foot forward, so that you can feel that your hips are in front of that back knee. And if you have props, you can bring your hands onto blocks or onto anything else that you have, pillows, anything that we can be creative about at home doing our yoga practice. Right? See if you can find a little bit of that arch into the back as you bend into that right knee and you send the heart forward. Take another deep breath. Start to straighten out through that right leg, walking the hands back so that way you can keep that lift of the heart. So almost that same shape we were just in with our back happens here. It's just now that front leg is straight. Good. One more as you are. And we're going to bring ourselves forward again. The left hand can either stay on that prop or come down onto the floor. The right hand's coming up onto that right thigh, and you're turning your heart to the right. Find your own comfort in these poses. And sometimes that means changing the pose altogether and finding something that serves you better. Let's take one more here. The right hand's going to come down to the mat, to the inside of that right foot. And we're going to walk that right foot closer, so now that our hands are framing the right foot. And we're tucking the back toes. We're going to lift off that left knee, so that back knee. And we're going to start to hop that left foot closer and closer until eventually we can come into standing split. Feel free to grab a hold of any props again to find that same lift we were talking about earlier. Good. Play with where the hips are in space. Good. And then step the left foot next to the right. Find your forward folds. So I like to bring my feet a little bit wider. I like to bend a whole lot into my knees. This helps me to remind my back body of what it needs to do here. So maybe you lengthen and then you fold. Good. And with an in-breath, you'll find that halfway lift. Hands slide up the legs. Good. And then exhale, you'll fold again. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Good. Big bend into the knees. Come all the way up to stand. Good. Hands will come into the heart center or alongside the hips or onto the hips as you settle into this new foundation. Take a moment to roll the shoulders. Close the eyes. Just find a moment of stillness here. Your own peace created within yourself. And with your next in-breath, you'll sweep the arms up towards the sky, and with your exhale, you'll swan dive fold over the legs. Your inhale, you'll rise into your halfway lift. And exhale, you'll fold. Planting the hands, stepping both feet back, come into plank, or lower the knees right down onto the mat for plank on the knees. And then start to lower all the way down, hugging the elbows in. Slide the hands back just a little bit if they're a little forward. Hug the elbows in here, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and then lift into your cobra. Using the breath as the guide here. With your next exhale, you'll release all the way down. Maybe stack the hands and rest the forehead to the hands. Maybe you take crocodile and you turn the toes out and draw the heels in. If you have any sinus issues with the change of season, maybe you rock the head side to side. And you'll come back onto the tops of the feet. The hands will slide back. We'll press back into tabletop position. And we'll extend the left leg long behind us. Good. And then draw the left knee forward, stepping that left foot to the outside of the left hand. You'll wiggle that left foot even further forward, so now my hips are in front of my right knee, and both hands are on the inside of the left foot. Good. See if you can find that lift of the heart, drawing the shoulders down the back. Find your own comfort here. And we'll start to walk the hands back. Start to straighten through that left leg, keeping the lift into the back. bending back into the left knee, bringing yourself forward again. Good. Right hand's going to come down onto the mat or come onto a fist or onto a prop, and then the left hand's coming onto that left thigh as you turn the heart to the left. And so my hips are really far forward so that my right knee, that back knee, feels safe. Good. And the left hand comes back down to the inside of the left foot, and then wiggle the left foot in between the hands. Tuck the right toes, lift off that right knee, and then start to hop that right foot forward until eventually you find standing split. Again, maybe finding some props to help you to find a lift, and then maybe a fold again. Play with where the hips are in space. Good. And then right foot steps next to the left. Find your fold. And really release here. Shake anything out. If the wrist needs some love, maybe you find gorilla pose, sliding the back of that right hand onto the floor as you step into that right hand or right palm with the right foot. And then same thing with the left. Making sure that the toes come all the way up to the wrist. And then really trust in yourself to step into the feet. Letting the head hang. If you're in gorilla pose, one hand at a time, releasing. And then find your lift, rising with the in-breath and folding with the out-breath. And do that 2 more times. Inhale to rise and exhale to fold. Inhale to rise and exhale to fold. Good. Big bend into the knees, come all the way up to stand. Find your moment of pause. Close the eyes and just be. With your next inhale, sweep the arms back up to the sky. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, release. Big bend into the knees. We're going to step into the hands and step the feet back to the back edge of your mat, coming into your plank. Good. And then lowering down onto the knees, lowering all the way down onto the belly. And with your in-breath, rising. Good. Hugging the elbows in, drawing the shoulders back. And then using the support of the hands to press yourself back into a child's pose. Come back to breath. And then find downward facing dog again. So maybe coming to hands and knees, settling in, finding that foundation, and then tucking the toes, lifting the knees and the hips. Again, pedaling out, shaking the head out. And we're going to bring our feet closer to one another this time, and we're going to inhale the right leg up to the sky. So some of us may enjoy opening up here, maybe bending that right knee. Go for that. We're keeping it straight. Eventually, we're all going to bend the right knee, bring the right foot forward to the outside of that right hand. Good. And then wiggle the right foot in between the hands. Good. Pivot the back foot so that the left foot is parallel. Right? Good. And then take your time easing up. Windmill up and open into your warrior 2. Good. Gaze can come in any direction that feels comfortable to the head and neck. And then feel free to play here. You can straighten, you can bend in, and you can even bring the hands to the hips if the arms are tired. And take one more here. And both hands are coming down to the inside, or to frame that right foot. And then come off the left heel, step the right foot back, come back into downward facing dog. Good. We're going to lift the left foot and either send that left heel back or bend the knee and open the hip. Eventually that left knee comes forward, you step the left foot down and wiggle the left foot in between the hands. Good. Pivot the back heel now so it's parallel. Good. And then take your time easing up, finding that warrior two. Good. And you can straighten, you can wiggle, find your own edge, your own place of stillness. Hands in any position that serve you. Arms are going to come back down again, framing that left foot coming off the back heel. This time, step that left foot back, come into downward facing dog for a breath or two, and then lower the knees and take a child's pose. Might be a nice time to get yourself a drink or just come back to breath. From our child's pose, we're going to tuck the toes again, walk the hands back. With or without some supports, and you can always bring a pillow or rolled blanket underneath the knees, coming into this toe balance. Right? So hands might eventually walk alongside the hips or the feet. The hands might come into the lap. They might come into heart center. But finding that focal point, that at any point if I'm feeling unbalanced, I can bring my knees down, and maybe I start again. And drawing belly in, finding your own steady breath. Good. Hands and knees will come back down. And let's take the toe stretch again. So sitting upright, your bottom is sitting onto the heels. Good. This time take the arms forward, cross the right arm over the left, give yourself a hug. You can stay here playing with where the elbows are in space, or you can find that the backs of the hands come towards one another, or the left fingers find the inside of that right thumb. Again, playing with where the elbows are in space. Okay, we're going to free the arms. Bring the hands to the low back. Come into your supported camel here. Elbows hugging towards one another. Okay. Come back into that toe stretch again. And you can always come onto the tops of the feet. This is feeling like a lock on the feet. Good. Maybe roll out the head and the neck. And then find the arms forward again, crossing the left over the right, giving yourself a hug. Feeling free to stay here or bringing the backs of the hands towards one another. Right fingertips might find the inside of that left thumb. And free the arms. Come into that supported camel again, either toes tucked or untucked, lifting the heart to the sky. And we're going to ease out of our camel and come onto our seat, bringing our heels to either direction. I'm going to turn to face you. And we're going to grab a hold of that right foot, and we're just going to rock out the right hip. We're going to take that foot and we're going to send it out wide and then arch over so that we can find that openness on the opposite side body, sending breath there. And one more as you are. And coming back upright, turning the heart to face that right leg now. And folding over. And if you did the opposite side, It's okay, we have the other side yet. And coming back upright and switch here. So bring the right foot in, grab a hold of the left foot, and just rock it out. Okay. Taking hold of that leg, and go ahead and send it out wide, and then arch over. Good again. Big breath through the right side body. Coming back upright, frame that leg, fold over the leg. Again, keeping that integrity into the spine, noticing how it feels in your body. And come back upright. And we're going to make our way back onto our backs. If you have some sort of a prop, a rolled blanket, a pillow, or a block, feel free to bring it with you. We're going to come to lie onto our backs, knees bent. And then I invite you at this time to play with some version of bridge pose. So if you'd like bridge, as it is traditionally, you might lift the hips, take the hands, walk them together, interlace, maybe walk the shoulder blades closer to one another. Just being mindful of how the head and the neck feel. And we want to keep our gaze up here. So versus peeking at the screen, if you're trying to see what I'm doing, see if you can watch me first and then come into it. Imagine you had a block between the thighs. You're welcome to take this version of bridge, or taking that prop, you might lift the hips and take the block or other prop underneath your seat. So now I have the option to rest here, allowing head and neck, my neck to be comfortable. I might extend the feet long. I might find a version of legs up the wall. Wherever you are, make sure it's what's working for you, and know that it can change at any point in your journey. Take one more breath here. If your legs are lifted, we're going to bring the feet down to meet the earth. If the legs are long, you'll bend the knees and step the feet back down. If you're on a prop, you'll lift the hips and move the prop out of the way. If you're in bridge pose, you're going to just gently release the hands, walk the shoulder blades away, and then release the hips back down. We'll bring the feet wide, bring the arms wide, and just rock out here, side to side. Maybe the head and the neck join in the movement. Maybe gazing in the opposite direction of the knees. We'll stay here as we start to make our way into Shavasana. So arms and legs can rest. You can take any shape that serves you. And feel free to stay here or turn off the video at any point. I'm going to offer a little guided meditation to end us today. So feel free to tune in or tune out at any point. If you're going to take your own time for Shavasana, allow at least 3 to 5 minutes. But making yourself comfortable, close your eyes. Inner peace is all about letting go, relaxing, letting go more, and relaxing more. You can do this now. Take a slow, deep breath and let go of any tension as you feel yourself sinking into the surface you're resting on, becoming still more comfortable and relaxed. Take another slow, deep breath and release your thoughts, letting them drift away. And take another slow, deep breath and know that in this moment, all is well. Notice your connection to the ground, through the bottoms of the feet or the bottom of your seat, as you feel the energy of the earth slowly flowing into you, supporting you and grounding you. And imagine the energy of life is flowing into you through the top of your head, your hands, your heart, softly and peacefully. Picture this energy of life as a soft green-colored light, filling your body, mind, and emotions. Now notice your breathing and allow it to become deeper and slower. As you breathe in the word deep. And as you breathe out the word peace. Take a few moments to continue to follow your breath in and out with the words deep and peace. If other thoughts come in, simply let them go and refocus on deep and peace. Breathing in and out. Begin to take in a deep breath. Allowing the next few exhales to be fully released, just as big as that breath. It's fully released, so you can fully relax and let go. In your own time, you'll start to find movements into the body again, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rocking the head side to side. And then easing onto your right side into the fetal position. Take a breath or two here. Eventually come back to a seated position. And settle in again. Find that stillness, that inner peace that only you can create. And with a deep inhale, you'll stretch the arms up towards the sky. And the exhale, you'll join the palms as you bring the hands to the heart center. You'll bow the head, offering yourself gratitude for taking care of you today, creating that inner peace within yourself and carrying it out into the world, out into the rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.